Welcome back to A Peaceful Pursuit. I hope you are doing well. I wanted to talk about homemaking being repetitive work today. I really struggled with this when I came home 2 years ago, and if I'm honest, I still do to an extent, because as a homemaker, your work is never really done. Although I do think when you have been homemaking long enough, you would get to a point where you feel like things are done. And by done, I mean like reasonably clean, reasonably tidy. And even though I feel like I have a better grasp on that 2 years in, I still feel like I have a long way to go because I have spent so much time decluttering and going through things that were neglected when I was working full-time outside of the home. And I also became a mom and came home at the exact same time. So it was like two huge transitions at the same time. So I wanted to talk about this topic today and hopefully encourage you in your homemaking. So throughout this video, I'm just doing some work in my kitchen. I got a whole chicken going, and here I am doing my milk kefir. I recently switched to the Alexander A2 organic milk, and it is ultra pasteurized, but when you do milk kefir grains with it, it makes it come alive again, and then it has a bunch of probiotics. So I've just been kind of on a journey of lowering as much inflammation as I can, and A2 milk is supposed to be better in that regard. So I actually really liked it. It turned out creamier than any other kefir that I have made before. So I will have how I do my milk kefir linked for you down below, but I thought it was fitting just to show you what I'm doing in my kitchen on a given day. This was actually on a couple of days, but as a homemaker, this is something that you do a lot, is prepare food, because if you're in the home, you are probably trying to save money where you can. And so in our home, we do not eat out hardly ever. We went out to eat for dinner recently at one of our favorite places that my husband and I used to go to every single week. We would have a date night, and we realized we hadn't been out to eat as a little family since before Christmas, and I still can't even remember when it was. I think it was honestly November. Like, it had been almost 4 months, which is crazy for us because when we were both working, we would eat out all the time. But it's just something that even if you're buying organic food, whole food, like ingredients versus packaged stuff, you're probably spending a little more than the average person on those things. But it is so much cheaper still to cook at home, and the only thing is it costs you your time, which is why you're there to begin with. But it is repetitive. It is very repetitive, and I feel like I'm in the kitchen a lot, but I have really learned to enjoy it. I like the creative process. And a tip that I have is to learn what needs to be done in your home to keep things running smoothly. So this is not something that I can really tell you exactly what it would be for you, but for me, it's planning when to make a particular sourdough dough, which I know some people say they don't plan that stuff, but I find that it's helpful. I don't write out like the whole schedule for how I'm going to do it. I just jot it down on my list for the day. Today you need to make pizza dough, just to make sure that I get to it so it's ready for the next day. Otherwise, I won't think of it because I have a very like type A organized type of brain, and so I need it written down. And then doing the dishes at each meal. So just cleaning up from start to finish as much as possible. Of course, you're going to have a day here and there where that doesn't happen, but just doing the work while you are in the workspace is so helpful to keep it feeling clean and organized and like you are ready for the next task. Okay, this is totally unrelated to the rest of the video, but I got these shoes in the mail. I needed a new pair of shoes. I've gotten rid of so many of my old things that I wasn't using anymore, and these are from, I don't know how to actually pronounce it, but Whiten. They are a barefoot zero drop shoe, and they're actually really cute. I'm very excited to wear them, so I'll link them down below, but I wanted to show them to you guys. So alongside the two things that I just shared about what I do in my home to keep things running, another thing that I do is to batch work. So one of the hardest things for me in coming home, one of the hardest and one of the biggest blessings, is that my time is my own throughout the day. But as you may know from one of my recent videos, I then would do things literally all day to the point of complete exhaustion, not feeling well. So it was really hard to feel like the day didn't go from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and that I should be working that entire time, which you should go watch that video. I'll link it for you guys. But some of that had to do with just my mindset and believing what my worth is as a homemaker. But yeah, it's a whole thing. You should go listen to it. But I find it helpful to know that when I go in the kitchen to prepare a meal, that is kind of like a block of time that I'm going to maybe do a couple other things too. So once you get going, once you're in motion, it's a lot easier to stay in motion. And I find that just, preparing the meal, cleaning up, those things are helpful. But you're already up, so you may as well do one other thing. So once you get something in the oven, you can vacuum, you can wipe down the counters, you can clean the bathroom, like just something else that is tending to your home, cleaning it in some way, because you're already moving, you're already going. And then that way, when you finish that time block, then you can rest. Sit on the couch, read to your kids, read a book for yourself. Just take some time to just be, because you do not have to be doing something 100% of the time. Nobody does things 100% of the time, even when they're on the clock at work. They have times where they're visiting with coworkers. They're not necessarily being productive. So it was a huge mindset shift for me from, well, I think the hard part is that when you're at work on the clock, like, you are making money, so I still felt justified even if I was taking a break to talk with coworkers. Whereas at home, none of it is actively making money. It's actively saving money in many ways, but it's not actively making money. And so you really have to be disciplined and gentle with yourself. Both disciplined and gentle, to make sure that you're resting, but also doing the work that needs to be done. So I don't know what it is in your home that helps you and your family feel like things are running smoothly, things are taken care of, you're having good days overall, but find out what they are for you and then kind of systematize them, whether it's batch work or anything that works for you, so that it's sustainable long term and you're not getting burnt out. You're finding ways to make the repetitive things more enjoyable, listen to music, have a little dance party while you're doing it. I don't know, just so many things that you can kind of romanticize your life in many ways. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope that you found some encouragement in this video.